Hello guys. And previous automation, I showed you how you can create how you can utilize Power Automate to read the Microsoft Forms and upload the attachments of Microsoft Form to Azure DevOps. In this tutorial, I will show you another automation where we want to receive or when an email is received, we want to read the attachment. For example, we receive Excel attachments which has a lot of information. We want to get once the email is received, we want to get the attachment from the email and upload it into SharePoint. And then from the SharePoint, we will read the Excel file data and we extract information, insert it into Dataverse table. And some other things. We will be creating some data flows for refreshing and a lot of other advanced technique. So let's get started. I will create an automation here. Let's skip this. Then the triggers, I'll use the Office 365 email. We call when an email arrives. When a new email arrives from Office 365. So in inbox folder, we can also choose if we want it to a different folder. So then if we expand here, so we call it this one, for example, download email, or we can say it, upload email attachments to SharePoint. So here we can give the recipient if you want that a specific recipient and some other details. And also we want to, because we want to only our automation purposes to get only the attachment and read it and upload the attachment in SharePoint. So we need to apply some filters only with attachment. So here's an option. We can say just yes, because we want to trigger it only if the email has attachment. Otherwise, we don't want to trigger it. We can initialize some variables. For success, for example, we as Boolean default, we can choose as a false. Okay, I will refresh so we can see it on the new view. I used on the same solution I used the other one, so this one, if I go to Cloudflow, upload file attachments to SharePoint, and edit it. Success. So here we initialize the variable, then we need to call for the apply to it because the attachment might, as an array, might have one or more attachments. And content, dynamic content, we get the attachments. Let me search attachments. So add this one. So apply to each attachments. Then there's another Office 365 trigger, which is called get attachments. Okay, yep, I had this one, get attachment v2. So here on the ID, we will give our message ID. We have the message ID. And then for the attachment ID, we give the current item ID from the attachments, from the apply to each current item ID. So our requirement is if we want to make sure that we only getting the Excel attachment, so we can have a condition here, like we don't want to get the images or any other kind of attachments because we want to read Excel attachment and we want to process it. So we can use the condition. Then Here we can use contains, then we call our attachment. XLSM. So if it is, the type of that file is coming as XLSM. So if we say if it is true, and also we can filter by name, like for example, if the attachment is coming in a specific name, that's a requirement that we don't want to upload other attachments. If it has multiple files, we just interested in a specific file, so we can use condition like contains. Get a maybe to name, and then for example, my order. So if the name of the file is, for example, myorder.xlsm, or the whatever extension that we can use in the previous filter, so we can give the name of the file. So for these two conditions, like if the name is equals to this name, again we use the true. If both of these conditions are true, then we can use the SharePoint create file. Can you call the SharePoint create file? So where we want to create our SharePoint our file, so we give the document library path. So let's just choose the shared document. So then we give them the file name. So we can give the name of the file on the attachment. Then for the file content, we give the content bytes. Okay. So this one, what it does when an email arrives, it will only checks for the email which has attachments. Then it gets the attachments, and what it does, it creates, uploads that attachment into the SharePoint library. Into the SharePoint library. So this is how we can upload the then to SharePoint. So the next step is what we can do is, let me save this one. We can create another automation, like once the files uploaded to SharePoint, we will go and do some other automation. So I go to the same. Let me rename the solution. I will give this automations. I'll call it mass automations. Because it's not just MS Farm, we will be creating different kind of automations here. So here we created that one. Now that we read the file, we upload it into SharePoint. Now we create another automation to read the file from the SharePoint folder once it's created. So we create another cloud flow. This time we use the SharePoint trigger. Then we call when a file is created. When a file is created. Okay, this one is duplicated. We can use we can't use that one. So basically, use this one. I was saying why this duplicate, but that if it's in subfolder, it will not trigger. But we are not uploading it in the subfolder, so it's okay. It asks for the site address. We gave it our site address, and then it asks for the folder ID. We can give it the our folder name. So we uploaded our documents in the shared document. Like if we want, if it's in a specific folder, you give the again that a specific folder path. For automation, it's better to have it in the specific folder, so not on the general document shared document library folder. Is a variable. Read a file from SharePoint. So we say read files from SharePoint. Okay. Okay. I will edit it. Okay. Our requirement is like once we created the file and we uh, want to read that file. So when a file is created, we want to read that file. What we can do is we will use the SharePoint trigger. Where is okay? SharePoint. We call, for example, the list folder. Again, we give it our SharePoint path and then the unique file identifier. So we give it our SharePoint document library, the folder path, but again, because it's a test, I'm just giving the shared document library, but in actual project, you need to have it into separate folder. Okay, then we use light switch. List folder body, apply to each list folder body. Want to make sure we get the tags of the file, check the tags of the file. Want to get the headers tag, and then so we want to, for example, we want to move the old file to once the new file is created, we want to move the old file to a different folder. For example, if the file already exists, then we can call the SharePoint move file, this one, and then move a file to move, then you choose the file that you want to move. I'm not sure if I have a document, so yeah, let's see if suppose this was the file that we received it and created the folder, so we want to move it. Then again, destination, you give the where you want to move it, the new folder. So suppose you want to move it inside the I don't have other library, so just I'll move it into style library. Again, this is a test environment, but in actual, you need to put it in the correct. A style library is not for these kind of purposes, just for the SharePoint style library doc style files, but just for testing, we can use it. So then move with a new name or if fill the section so replace, so but we can say move with the new name so we can have this the history. So this is an extra condition, but our requirement was that once we once a file is created into the SharePoint folder, we want to get the file content. So we want to get we want to read the SharePoint that file. We call the get file content. So there is a yeah, get file content from SharePoint. Give the address and then the file identifier, we give it the file ID. Header. The file identifier. So we give that, and then we call another SharePoint update. Update file. Again, we give it the address. Then we give the file that we want to update. So we choose our file. For example, this is the file. For example, then the file content. We get the file content. File content. So here, once we get the file content, and what I'm doing, I have created a data flow in my environment. Then I'm calling the data flow to refresh the data. Basically, the data flow is reading this Excel file which I uploaded, which is uploaded in this SharePoint library. So, I mean, once this file is updated, it calls my data flow to refresh it. So this basically it will go and refresh the data, read the Excel from here, and then refresh it into the Dataverse table. So you can call the data flow a refresh a data flow trigger, and then so what this data flow does is I'm calling to refresh it. Once it refreshes, so I have set up the data flow to go and read the Excel file and do the refresh the data. So for the so we got it here that we want to refresh the data flow. So you might be wondering how we have like where is the or what's the data flow. Yeah, so here, for example, on the Power Platform data flow, you can create a new data flow. I'll give it, for example, flow update. Update from Excel to Dataverse table. So this data flow will read Excel, then update it into the Dataverse table. So we choose the file, but here we give the file path. We can give the address of our SharePoint file. So we give our address of our file, and once we give that, there are steps that you can set up the data flow, for example, to it's for you can choose the SharePoint folder. So we can give our, let me go complete this step also. So for example, this one is the file that we wanted to read, this Excel file or CSV file. We can click on transform the data. Then you can have a couple of other logics or changes that you want to apply, or transformation that you want to apply in your data flow. So you can do that, and then you can apply different kind of transformation here. And once you did those transformation, you can insert the data into the Dataverse table, or you can update the data into the Dataverse table. So if I choose this table, so here it says load to any table, load an existing table. So for example, if you have an existing table, you see it brings all the Dataverse tables. We can choose the table that we want to refresh or insert the data in it. So let's say it's an account or whatever, one of your Dataverse table that you want. Then you click next. Then you click publish. Once you publish it, so basically every time this data flow is refreshed, it will go and read this file that's created into the SharePoint, read that Excel file and update that into the Dataverse. So I'm not publishing this one. I'm just show you how you can do how you can create data flow to refresh data into your Dataverse table. And then I showed you how you can read the file and do update the Dataverse table from that Excel file. So then we can also do some other things, like when a data refresh is complete, then you can do some other transformation if you need it. So, but for this part, I think I will close the session here. Thank you.